All right, we're live. Welcome to another edition of Not Mainstream, December 15th, 2017. And this is going to be the last one for the year. We'll return in 3 weeks, I guess, January 5th. January 5th, we will
Yep.
return. And January 5th is going to be a brand new year, 2018. So I decided let's do a year in review and review the entire year. But before we get into that, we got some huge news to discuss that happened this past week. Let's kick things off with the terrorist bombing that happened in New York City this past week.
Yep.
Luckily, I don't think there was anyone killed. I think there were some people injured. But what happened was the guy who did the bomb, it was a poor design of the bomb, and it only affected him and hardly anyone else. So, which is, great that there was not a lot of people that was injured or hurt or any
Thank the good
deaths that
Lord for
occurred.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, God, New York has been through so much. I mean, it's starting with 9/11, and then
Mhm.
there was the truck attack back on the Halloween also.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of attacks has been happening in New York this past year as well.
mhm.
And I
I'm just
mean, New
glad the guy.
York.
I'm just glad the bomb. I'm just glad the bomb.
Good. Hmm.
Any more than just the bomber himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, because, man, could you, oh man, I would hate to imagine that if it actually happened. I mean, it would have been like another 9/11.
Yeah, it would have.
Because this was at a subway, in a subway system.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people ride the subway in New York, so
Hmm.
I mean,
I mean, New
imagine
York
the
is.
the potential for casualties.
Mhm.
A very
Absolutely.
good scenario. If people had been killed, it would have been bad. It would have been really bad.
Yeah, absolutely. They said that the bomber was like affected by some kind of Christmas poster, and that his bomb had like Christmas lights and nails and stuff like that inside of it. I think the bomber, he's still alive. I think he's in very critical condition,
Yeah,
and they got him.
yes.
They got him, which
They
is
got
great.
the bastard.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yep.
New York, they really need to they really need to wake up and realize that this can maybe happen again, and this time and next time the bomb actually might go off and be successful.
Well, you can blame De Blasio for his lousy leadership. I mean, he is a very after all.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully though, I mean, this was beyond New York. This is a federal case.
Hmm. Hmm. Let's see here.
But yeah, this could have been bad. It could have been
Yeah,
much
absolutely.
worse than it was. It really
Hmm.
could have been.
Let's see here. So I think, yeah. So with that, just thoughts and prayers go out to any one that's hurt or injured
Yeah,
to that terrorist incident or acts or attack. Let's see
yeah.
here. So Alabama had the election this past Tuesday, and it was a shocker. It was a freaking shocker. So Roy Moore
Yeah, it
lost,
was.
and
Yeah, it
we
was
thought
razor
we,
thin. It was very razor thin.
yeah,
The
we,
margin between Moore and Jones was very razor thin.
yeah. I mean, it was like almost neck and neck a tie. I think they were like only a half a point or a point off from each other. I think Roy Moore got like 48 something, and Doug Jones got like 49 something. And I said last week that Roy Moore would have it if they didn't rig it, and I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say they something fishy happened during that election.
Possible.
I mean, those are we point out.
But it's also possible that maybe more supporters didn't really get out to vote for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or
What's
maybe some Alabamans did. Alabamians, no, that's entirely possible.
mhm.
So,
Which is another way they can, like, rig it. If the voter turnout is low, that's way easier for them to rig if it was high rather than it was high. So I'm going to go with rigging and probably low voter turnout, which is really shocking because if you compare the maps between the 2016 presidential election and the Senate election, Alabama was red except for like a little belt loop around it. And then in this election, it was like some in blue areas, the blue splotches, which is kind of weird to me. So I'm going to go with low voter turnout plus some type of rigging because it was way too close for that. But Roy Moore has not conceded yet, and it seems
he
to
has to
me like
concede. And said
he has.
today, President Trump said today he should concede.
Yeah, President Trump called him to concede, but Roy Moore has not conceded yet, has he?
No, he has not. What I was going to say was now also there may have been individuals, who were listening to the fake news about, the allegations against Troy Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Individuals listening to fake news about President Trump because Trump was basically supporting Roy Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have been that some voters in Alabama may not have wanted someone associated with President Trump because
Mm-hmm.
they've been listening too much to the fake news.
Yeah, yeah, because the fake news has been doubling down on these elections lately, and now Roy Moore, like I said, Roy Moore has not conceded yet, and I think he's planning on doing a recount. I hope that happens. I really do, because
But I've heard that there may not be a recount because the vote was so close.
because see, there was a report going around about um, the state of Alabama voted
Mm-hmm.
to erase voter logs as soon as the election is over. Let me see if we can
How
pull
long
that up.
has that law? How long has that law been in place? I mean,
They voted on it like a few days before the election.
okay, well, case then. I mean, I don't know why they would have done that, but
And then there was another report from WTVY, I think it's a local station from Alabama, saying that Homeland Security was watching the Alabama election, which
okay.
that's kind of fishy for me. Not sure about you and what your opinion is that on that.
Well, if it's Trump's Homeland Security, I mean, what would be fishy about that?
Hmm.
And then again, there may be some Obama holdouts in Homeland Security also.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of Obama holdovers in Homeland Security and every other department too. But this is from Daily KOS. They said the Alabama Supreme Court rules the state can destroy ballot images right after Tuesday's election. Late Monday night, the Alabama Supreme Court stayed the Montgomery County Circuit Court's Montgomery County Circuit Court's order earlier that day, directing Alabama's election officials to preserve digital ballot images during Tuesday's Senate election. In an order granting preliminary injunction was filed at 1:36 p.m. Monday, less than 24 hours before voting to begin. The order came in response to a lawsuit filed Thursday on behalf of 4 Alabama voters who argued that the state is required to maintain the images under state and federal law. The destruction of the images allegedly opens the door to potentially hacking because there are no hard copies of the ballots, according to Priscilla Duncan, the attorney for the plaintiffs. The Department of Homeland Security notified our Secretary of State here in Alabama that one of the 21 states has been targeting for hacking election systems. She said, referring to this year's special election in the Georgia 6th Congressional District. So yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, if the state of Alabama voted on that, then there doesn't seem to be much we can do about it. I mean, or as far as I think one of the silver linings about this is he may only be in there until 2020, and there will be not a special election, but there will be another election in the year 2020, and he may not, he may lose that seat that year.
Yeah,
because he's serving out the rest of Jeff Sessions' term.
Yeah, he's not there for 4 years. Thank God. So, thank you. But
he's only going to be in there for just
the remainder of
2 years.
Sessions. Yeah. But the first question is, if Roy Moore does not concede yet, which I hope he doesn't, I really love for him to fight this and pressure the state of Alabama to see that if we can figure out if there has been rigging or hacking or anything of that sort. Do you think he's going to concede anytime soon, or you think he's just going to call for a recount and see what happens from there?
He may write it out. I'm not really sure. I mean, that's going to be his decision. Conservatives say, well, that's what leftists do when they don't. When the election doesn't go their way, they whine and complain about. I mean, it may make it sound like Roy Moore is whining and complaining. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but I'm saying that would be the perception.
Yeah. And then, well, you got to, Hillary done the same freaking thing. She had to recount 3 states. so I say go for it, Roy Moore. Do a recount, and hopefully we see they will bring out some interesting stuff if that recount happens. The second thing I was thinking about, what about Doug Jones's sexual past? I mean, we see a lot of sexual predators in Congress. Will someone come out and say that Doug Jones raped them or molested them or sexually assault them? That'd be quite interesting, I believe.
We'll just wait and see what happens with this. I mean, will he concede? Will he not concede? It's going to be up to him. I mean, the president is asking him to concede.
Yeah,
but that does not mean that he's going to.
Yeah,
and there were people who were saying that. Oh, what's his name? That Mo Brooks would have been the more conservative candidate and would not have had as many problems.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
As far as he would not have had a sex scandal hanging over him, true or not.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
Mitch McConnell, screw that. I mean, he pulled his support away from Mo Brooks and wanted Luther Strange.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's just that is just what do you call it? We can blame. We can blame
Mitch McConnell. So this is McConnell's fault.
It is Mitch McConnell's fault. That's what I call him.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't blame you at all. A bitch for the left. Yeah.
And maybe that was Mitch McConnell's plan all along, was to screw over any pro-Trumpers, Mo Brooks, Roy Moore.
Yeah. Well,
Go ahead.
It would not be surprising if that was the case.
Yeah.
If indeed, Bitch McConnell, did this intentionally,
Hmm.
because I
And then,
don't. He didn't really like Roy Moore. Mitch McConnell did.
yeah, I know he didn't like Roy Moore, and I know I'm sure he was the one that brought out all that sexual uh, assaults and all that against him. Like I said, I wouldn't
So
be surprised if this was a McConnell's fault. McConnell needs to go. But the other thing that's been going out is the mainstream media. You know how the mainstream media. Well, this is a loss for President Trump. This is a loss for the Make America Great Again
yeah, they've been
agenda.
saying it's a
This is
referendum on Trump and all
yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard it.
it's bullshit. I don't believe that for 1 second. And then the mainstream media also says, well, Steve, this is all Steve Bannon's fault. This Bannon couldn't do it. Bannon.
Heard that too. Yep,
This
I've been hearing all
some more
that. Yeah,
some more
I've been
bullshit.
hearing all that crap. Yeah,
If we
fake
wind the
news.
clocks back months ago, Steve Bannon supported Mo Brooks until he got screwed over by Mitch McConnell, and then
Yep,
he had to
yep.
he didn't endorse Luther Strange because he was a McConnell puppet. So he did Mo Brooks, and Bannon did his hardest to his damnedest, I should say, to elevate Roy Moore and help him win. But it was all the fake news's fault and Mitch McConnell's fault because of all the unproven claims of the sexual assaults and the you know alleged pedophilia and all that nonsense.
And I gotta do something real quick. Be back in a second.
All right. And then not only that, we have Soros. Soros is influencing local elections. He's been influencing local elections for quite some time, and this is not a surprising article from Breitbart.
Okay.
I was talking about Soros and Schumer on Breitbart. Soros and Schumer backed organizations are the dark money behind the Alabama shell group attacking Roy Moore. So basically, you have Chuck Schumer and you have George Soros interfering in local elections.
Schumer, he can go fuck himself. He's an asshole.
Yeah, and apparently Schumer's in little sexual assault trouble, which appear to be fake though.
Oh.
But
Mm.
still,
I would love to see him.
I'm praying. I'm praying.
I would love to see him have a sexual allegation against
A
him.
sex scandal.
Yeah,
It wouldn't surprise me.
inspired. Speaking of which, I mean, there must be something in the water because there have been two other cases that have emerged this week.
Yeah,
One was a Kentucky congressman who committed suicide. Interestingly enough,
yeah.
after these allegations were made against him.
Hmm.
PBS host Tavis Smiley suspended indefinitely
Wow,
because of sexual allegations.
wow. Um, let's see here. But going back to the Roy Moore and what it looks like for 2018, to me, it's too early to tell. I mean, one election isn't enough to tell if this is going to be a referendum on Trump. I mean, we have to have multiple elections, and besides, this is like what, one, two, three wins for the Democrats, and the Republicans is one, up until now. So I don't see this
Yeah.
as a referendum on Trump. I don't. It's a little early to tell, but we're just going to have to wait out 2018 and see. It's going to be one hell of a year next year. It's going to be a
The
roller
other,
coaster.
the other two, I was going to say, the other two, as far as was Virginia, was it New York?
Virginia, New Jersey, New Jersey,
Yeah, Jersey. That's it.
and New York.
Anyway, so
Yeah, I mean they're liberal hotbeds anyway.
I think it was a surprise to a lot of people that state
Hmm.
like Alabama would choose
Yeah.
There was a very controversial article that came out this week. It said you can thank the black woman Doug Jones win.
Yeah, I
That,
don't.
that sounds kind of like kind of like race baiting to me,
Yeah,
if you
they
ask
are
me.
race baiting. They said that the black vote for Doug Jones was, double of what Roy Moore was. And then I saw somewhere that they just now allowed felons to vote in Alabama. So I
Well,
mean,
then, yep. Well,
so
there you
that's
go. I mean,
one of the reasons why the black vote was higher. I mean, they had a uh, David Knight on Infowars had an article pulled up, and they had this pastor actually inside a jail registering felons to vote. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think felons should vote, but I think they should have they have to wait until after they're out of jail, and then maybe like 5 years, have a waiting period before they are allowed to vote. But have them white out of jail and voting, no, no, that shouldn't happen at all.
yeah. I mean, I don't think they should be eligible to vote while they're in prison.
Yeah.
That just no, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Hmm.
They should they should um, if your rights are taken away from you while you're in prison,
Hmm.
why would you?
Still have the right to vote.
Why would you have any? Yeah, why would you have the right to vote? Exactly.
Hmm. Yeah.
Rights are taken away from you when you're in prison. So
Hmm. And we saw that during the presidential election, Virginia, they allowed felons to vote, and that went to Hillary because of that decision.
yep, yep. And it's just well, hey, listen. They let the dead vote. Don't forget, the
Yeah,
dead can vote as well.
yeah. The dead was voting. The illegals are voting, and it wouldn't surprise me if there was some dead people on the rolls in Alabama voting for some odd and strange reason. And I wouldn't surprise if they bust people in from out of state, some illegals into Alabama as well. But I would love for, like I said, I like for Roy Moore to fight it and push for a recount. I would love to see that. To see, because if he does that
Well,
and it comes back,
I think
something suspicious, then we'll know.
I think he should fight it until he realizes that there's not much more he can do,
Yeah.
and then go ahead and say, okay, I did all I could do.
Hmm.
I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and concede.
Yeah.
Um,
Now
now,
when does Doug Jones supposed to get in
January
January?
3rd, when Congress comes back, because I'm sure they're about to end this session.
Hmm.
Of course, the president wants there to be, we'll get into it. I guess we'll get into it in a little bit about the tax reform.
Hmm.
There's supposed to be an absolute vote on it early next week.
We can go ahead and do tax reform now because that's a great transition. Because Chuck Schumer came out today and said that Doug Jones needs to be seated before we vote for tax reform.
That they keep saying that they want him to go ahead and be seated now. It's like, bitch, it doesn't work that way.
It does not work. Yeah, you can't do that. You have to wait until Congress gets back in session before you vote on any seats in it before you start seating
Of
anybody.
course, the only reason they want this, the only reason that they want him to be seated right away is because they want to make sure that this is a blow against Trump. It's like they've already dealt him one blow by having more and more lose.
Hmm.
They want to exacerbate that by having him um, because without tax reform, that's going to be a major blow against the White House, I think.
Well, it won't be Trump's fault though. It's going to be
Well, no,
Congress,
it will be a major blow against him.
which is why I still say that Trump, he needs to take the gloves off and destroy these people. Destroy Chuck Schumer, destroy Nancy Pelosi, destroy anyone that's opposing him, that's not for his agenda. Take the gloves off and just be like, what? I'm not going to mess around anymore.
Yep.
We're going to do this my way, or I'm going to make sure that you guys don't get reelected next year.
Mm-hmm. And there was a bit of controversy earlier this week with Kirsten Gillibrand going on, I think it was CNN, and saying, well, I think President Trump should resign. I'm like, over what?
because
Over what?
because because of his tweet that said that she would do anything to get some donations. And
No, he made the tweet in response to what she said.
yeah,
She went on CNN, I think it was Sunday or Monday, and said that President Trump should resign.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, bitch, he's not going to resign.
Yeah, he's not going to
You
resign.
know, but then he put out a tweet about Brand basically doing anything to get donations. Now the left, they all had their heads exploded when they saw that tweet.
They had a conniption
Because
fit.
they're like, is he trying to imply that she would do something sexual? It's like, no, that's not what he said, idiots.
Anything can mean anything. All right. And I love Sarah
Exactly.
Sanders. I love Sarah Sanders so much. She pumped the media on blast this week. She said, "You
She
guys need to
did.
get." She basically said, "You guys need to get your head out the gutters." All right.
Yep.
That's not what he meant.
Oh yeah.
He said that to everybody. He said that Hillary would do anything for a donation. He said that Jeb Bush would do anything for a donation. Mitt Romney would do anything for a donation. So it's just
She
not
was
females that he
responding
did it to.
to April Ryan, who is fake news.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, April Ryan actually spread some fake news about Omarosa
Mm-hmm.
leaving the White House. Supposedly, Omarosa was kicking and screaming and wanted to see the president and all this stuff. You know, I don't believe that for a minute.
Yeah, I don't either. I think she left on her free will. I don't think there was no kicking and screaming and
Nobody else witnessed that.
mm-hmm.
Nobody else witnessed that. If it had happened, I'm sure we would have heard from credible sources, not from fake news.
Yeah.
If it had happened that way, I
Yeah.
think I mean, and the president tweeted out, I wish Omarosa continued success in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Omarosa was one of the
She was the very first apprentice on the very
the
first
contestants.
episode.
Yes, she was the contestant. Yeah, she was the very first winner, I believe.
I don't think she won. I think she got fired.
Oh yeah, but I mean, she knows President Trump.
Yeah.
She and Trump know each other
Mm-hmm.
from
But I
that.
don't think she
So
won The Apprentice, did she? I know she was
I
on
don't
the. I
remember
think
if
she
she
was on the
won it or
first
not.
season. I think she was on the first season, but I don't think
Yeah,
she
she
won.
was. She was on the first season.
And
I
people,
don't
the reason why
believe.
people hate Omarosa is because she's killing their narrative that all black people hate him and all women hate him. She's black and a
Mhm.
woman, and she absolutely loves him. So yeah,
Yes,
that's a
she
narrative
does.
killer right
She
there.
does.
But
Yep.
I think what happened was Trump probably didn't need her anymore, so he would say, you know what, I don't need you anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and release you from your job, and
Uh-huh.
go ahead and do whatever you need. I
And
think that's what happened.
I imagine there were no hard feelings between them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Omarosa is actually very good friends with President
Mm-hmm.
Trump. So, But yeah, I mean, yeah, but I did see where Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I mean, she killed it. And Mark Dice, when he put the video up,
Yeah.
he showed clips from Mortal Kombat of Sonya Blade. Whoa.
Yeah, I saw that. It was great. And then you have Jim Acosta, who can't shut the hell up for
Oh,
5
that piece of
seconds.
shit.
I cannot stand it. Sarah, I know if you're watching, you're probably not watching, but if you are, just revoke the press, revoke CNN's press credentials, please. Just do us all a favor and just revoke that press credentials. Make a statement.
He's an
Make a
asshole.
statement. Oh, and not only that, some more fake news. Piegate. Piegate. You probably remember Piegate. So April Ryan. So Sarah, basically,
Oh, is that her? Is that where President Trump has his chocolate pie with 2 scoops
no,
of ice cream? Oh, this is
no,
something
this is
different.
more. No, this is more Sarah Sanders' news. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So Sarah Sanders posted on Twitter, I think, like a week, I think on Thanksgiving or something, saying that she posted a picture of her pecan pie, and
Okay.
and
Okay.
the Twitter trolls said that looks like a fake pie. Did she really make that, or she took it, or she took a photo off of Google and posted? And April Ryan from CNN fueled this speculation of Piegate.
Fake news. Yep.
Exactly. Sarah Sanders said, you know what? I'm going to make you a pie, April. So during the press Christmas party, Sarah Sanders baked up a couple of pecan pies and gave one to April Ryan. Now, April Ryan posted on Twitter, she said, post videos and photos, but I won't eat a piece. And I'm like, oh my God, seriously? Seriously? After all that speculation of her not baking that pie, and you wanting a piece of the pie, you're not going to eat the piece? You're not going to eat a piece of the freaking pie? Seriously,
What a
give me a freaking
bitch.
break. Give me a break. Now, I'm surprised. I'm surprised the media hasn't say Sarah Sanders tries to poison press by pecan pie.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what. See, yeah, yeah. What do they think? Sarah was going to some
Some food poisoning.
going to cause an OOC, as Eugene said.
induce some
Make
vomiting.
April.
Um, uh, uh, you know what? I haven't watched CNN, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ran that as the headline at the little bottom of the screen. Sarah Sanders tries to poison press with pecan pie. That wouldn't
Oh
surprise
yeah.
me at all. Well, just like with the whole when Trump allowed that kid to mow the White House lawn, they said that Trump uses child labor to mow White House lawn.
What idiots.
Oh my God!
I
Let's
mean,
see here.
they have so much hatred for this president.
Mm-hmm.
They will spread any narrative that they think they can get away with.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to we're gonna spread fake news, and of course the American people they recognize it as fake news, and I think that fits too well with CNN.
Yeah.
The fact that they are recognized as fake news,
Mm-hmm.
they don't
Yeah. I
like
mean,
that.
CNN is doing horrible in the ratings. Fox News is. I think I saw something out here that says Fox News is like beating them in the ratings.
They're triggered. They're triggered when somebody says fake news.
Here's the thing: back when Trump won, CNN and all the mainstream media networks coined the term fake news. Us on the right, I guess you can call it. I'm like independent right. Took the word fake news and weaponized it against the mainstream media. You see, here's the thing. If they thought that Hillary was going to win, so they was going to start saying fake news every time a Breitbart article gets posted or every time a InfoWars article gets posted where Hillary lost. So the mainstream media still had to use coin the term fake news, but Trump took it and weaponized it against them. Say, no, we're not fake news. CNN is fake news. MSNBC is fake news. And I mean, we saw that countless times last week. I mean, how many times last week did CNN and ABC and NBC and CBS and all the mainstream media news outlets had to issue corrections or retractions?
Oh yeah. Was it in last week? CNN had to retract something.
Yeah, the Donald Trump Jr. WikiLeaks scandal. They said that, oh, Trump
Oh
Jr.
yeah,
received
that. Yeah.
WikiLeaks. Received WikiLeaks, but it was like the day after the WikiLeaks were already posted, so they had to retract that. And then we talked last week about ABC and Joy Behar, going to the
Oh,
extreme that
that
says, yeah,
bitch.
Flynn, Flynn contacted the Russians during the election, which was fake news.
Yeah. Well, and really, Joy Behar did not really apologize for that.
No, she just said, oh, they make mistakes.
She kind of issued a half-ass apology for that.
She brushed it off. She brushed it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what the whole argument between Jim Acosta and Sarah Sanders was about, was the press is intentionally misleading people. And Jim Acosta's like, no, we're not. We're not intentionally misleading people. Give me a break. When ABC issues a story at like 9 o'clock in the morning and it's fake news, they wait until 12 hours after the fact to issue a correction. That is misleading people. Man, I'm fired up tonight. It's the last show of the year, and I'm fired up.
What was I going to say? Well, oh yeah. Speaking of the spew, I mean the view. No, actually, I think I got it right the first time.
The word that I spelled out
They
last
had
week.
creepy Uncle Joe on, and he was consoling Megan McCain because of Megan McCain's father dying of brain cancer, and that's what killed Joe Biden's son Beau.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he wasn't touching on her, was he?
I hope not. I mean, I did hear that he was consoling her. I don't know if he was touching her or not.
He might be. He might. Oh well, you saw how creepy Joe likes to touch people and grope them and all that.
Oh yeah, he's
But
well,
yeah.
only the good-looking women, but hell, I think his preference is 12-year-old girls. Jesus.
Oh, ew. Talk about.
You know, the left wants to talk about pedophilia. They want to talk about Roy Moore being a supposed.
Yeah.
And then they completely ignore Joe Biden, touching
Yeah.
12-year-old girls.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, that's
he's just being Joe. He just being Uncle Joe.
creepy Uncle Joe. Or is it?
They shrug it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right there with the Joe Biden stuff. Oh, that you. What about Roy Moore? I mean, they try and play moral equivalency.
See, here's the thing about Roy Moore. One allegation does not make a person a pedophile. Now, if there was countless allegations, then I'd say, yeah, all right, maybe he might be. But it was just one. And then you have to take in consideration that the other accusers were like 16 and 17, and the age of consent in Alabama was 16.
Well, the thing is,
So by law,
I mean, you have these. I mean, there were numerous allegations, but none of them were really proven.
mm-hmm.
And then you had the whole handwriting thing, which it turned out that Nelson woman had added her own notes.
Yeah. She didn't say what notes she added, though.
Yeah.
She just says she added notes.
Mm-hmm. See, but that should and of course Gloria Allred would not submit for independent analysis. I really think the point is moot right now because Roy Moore lost,
Mm-hmm.
and all the women have gone away. So
yeah. But speaking of Gloria Allred, let's do a bombshell report with Gloria Allred's daughter. And
both
transition.
of them are the C word. Both of them.
Yeah, major capital C
Yeah.
with a capital. All that
Mm-hmm.
capitalized. All that capitalized.
Because
All right.
Lisa Bloom was representing Kathy Griffin
Mm-hmm.
during that infamous press conference.
Yep. Yeah. He ruined my life. No, you ruined your own life. Bombshell report. High profile attorney sought cash for Trump accusers. So Lisa Bloom, Gloria Allred's daughter, is straight out of the book of her own mother. Their report reveals that California attorney Lisa Bloom tried to arrange payment for women who were considering coming forward with allegations of sexual misconduct against Trump. The bombshell revelation published in The Hill on Friday shows Bloom sought to arrange compensation from donors and tabloid media outlets for women who made or considered making sexual misconduct allegations against Trump during the final months of 2016 election, according to the documents and interviews. Now, this is going to transition into another bombshell report dropped by Bill O'Reilly. So this past Monday, the Trump accusers that came out last year during the election mysteriously appeared again, like the phoenix, it raised again. Now, I predicted this going on a few weeks ago, actually, on Twitter, on the politically alternative media at politically alt, and I said that the reason why they're bringing out all these sexual misconduct allegations from Harvey Weinstein to the mainstream media to Congress is because they're going to reopen the whole sexual allegation case against Trump to use that as the impeachment for impeachment. Well, lo and behold,
Mm-hmm.
this past Monday on the Megyn Kelly show, because why Megyn Kelly? Because no one watches that show is beyond me. I guess she has to do something to get ratings up. So the three accusers came out on Monday and said that, well, Trump asked me for my phone number and that's sexual assault and all that other nonsense. It's nonsense, all right? It's complete nonsense. They've been disproven once, they'll be disproven again. Now it's saying that Lisa Bloom has been offering these women compensation money because they came out with that. Well, this is going to tie into the whole Bill O'Reilly. So Bill O'Reilly was on the Glenn Beck show a few days ago, and he said that he has a tape of a crime, of three crimes being committed on that tape, of an anti-Trumper going to a woman and saying, "Hey, here's some money. Blame Trump. Say Trump that you got sexually assaulted by Trump." And so Bill O'Reilly says that he's going to release the tape. Don't know when. He said he's going to release it in a few weeks or so. He said he's going to take it to the Attorney General or something like that to have everyone make aware of it. And I think he also said that Trump is aware of the tape. Apparently, there might be other tapes too. So if they try this, it's going to backfire on them if there are more tapes besides that one.
I'll tell you what, it's going to get interesting. I mean, because if you have to offer a woman money to make an allegation
Mm-hmm.
against a political figure, then that throws up all kinds of red
Yeah,
flags.
absolutely. And
I mean, this is just getting out of control.
yeah, it is.
This whole thing stemmed from last year when he talked about grabbing by the pussy. By the way, he said, and they let you.
Yeah, big, bold letters, and they let you consent,
Yeah, go
consent,
back and
consent,
listen. Yeah,
consent.
go back and listen to the original tape, not the edited version that the fake news puts out.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Donald Trump is not going around and groping every single woman he sees. All right.
No, he is not.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
yeah, Bill O'Reilly
it's
basically. Bill
ridiculous.
O'Reilly. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's all ridiculous. It's all fake news.
Mhm.
he's happily married. He's not. He does not have a wandering eye that we know of. If he did, I think we would see more signs of it. I think we would see. I think we would see more and more that yes, he has a wandering eye, and he's.
Well, I'd
But
say
that's not
back in
what's
his younger
happening.
days. I'd say back in his younger days he did. But the dude is 71. He's not like Bill Clinton who's still at it. All right.
Yeah. Well, Trump. Listen, Trump is a businessman. He was a businessman. He could have any woman he wanted.
Yep.
He was sowing his wild oats. That's what he was doing.
Yep.
I mean, he could have any woman he wanted. It's true, and beautiful women. He
Yep.
was married what 3 other times, or 2 or 3 other times,
Mm-hmm.
and he was married to beautiful women. Just it. I mean, yes, he ran around on them. Yes, he ran around on them. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I know, he's not running around on Melania.
Mm-hmm. And plus, back when he was married, that was his younger days too. Now he's older. He's a lot older and wiser. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean, he has settled down. He's really settled down.
Mm-hmm. And I think with the whole Barron situation too, that's the main reason why he settled down
Yeah, I
with
mean,
Barron.
when you have a kid that age, I mean, he's what 12, 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to tend to change you. It has changed him. I think it's changed the president. I think that he is. He realizes that he can't do what he used to do in his younger days. He can't run around and chase all the women.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Here's the thing. And Bill O'Reilly said that watch out in January because this is when the whole thing's going to blow open. So we're just going to have to see what happens in January. But here's the thing. The deep state establishment, whatever you want to call it, globalists, whatever you want to call it, are so hell-bent on ruining Donald Trump's chances to be reelected. They have to get him out before 2020. They have to get him out. Because they know he is popular and they know he's going to get reelected. So they're going to have to throw every wrench into the system. They're going to have to bring up every old allegation, every old false allegation, every old business deal that he's ever made out and say, hey, he's the bad guy here. Don't look at us, look at Trump. And we're seeing that with this whole Russiangate, which is a great transition to because a lot of more shit has come out. Text messages has came out with the fired
Oh yes, this Peter Strzok guy, or
Peter
whatever,
Strzok
however that guy's
guy,
last name.
the one that
I
was
don't know who
messing
this
around with his wife with the other woman. So major text messages came out to show how biased Mueller's team is. I mean, every text message on there was like so anti-Trump, and Rod Rosenstein was at the Judiciary Committee, and he was grilled by Jim Jordan and Trey Gowdy, saying, "Why is this guy still? Why is Mueller still special prosecutors if he is so biased and having all these people that is so anti-Trump on his team? Why is Mueller still there?" And Rod Rosenstein basically gave the HR human resources answer and say, "Well, I haven't found anything that declares Mueller biased. He shouldn't be fired quite yet. We're gonna have to wait and see if more stuff comes out." But I mean, if you have text messages, if you have people emailing back and forth anti-Trump stuff, then yeah, that's a huge major bias, and that calls for Mueller to be fired.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of obvious that the man has an inherent bias,
Mm-hmm.
Mueller,
Yeah.
and it's obvious that members of his team bias as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rosenstein, I think Rosenstein is a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Well, there is no, into that there may be a problem with Mueller.
Hmm.
And it's like this: no, you cannot. I don't think you can any longer cover it up. You say there's no problem, but there's a major conflict of interest, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing.
For them to, for this guy, this Mueller, I mean, completely partial.
Hmm.
If he's going to conduct an investigation, I would want even with the worst, even if it's a leftist Democrat that's being investigated,
Hmm.
I would want there to be fairness as far as with the investigation process.
Yeah, there should be no bias whatsoever. There should be apolitical, apolitical. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
Fusion GPS. They admitted that a DOJ official's wife, Nellie O, hired to probe Trump. Like, wow, wow. A wife of a DOJ official.
Mm-hmm. Shocking or surprising.
What Jeff Sessions needs to do is bring on another special counsel. I mean, Trey Gowdy is calling for another special counsel. Jim Jordan is calling for another special counsel. And I think like
Mm-hmm.
50 other members of Congress is calling for another independent special counsel to look into the Mueller situation. That's what Jeff Sessions needs to do. And then speaking of Jeff
Yeah, I mean,
Sessions, it came out I think maybe last week, and we didn't get to it, and I must have forgot about it. That do you remember when Jeff Sessions said that he talked to Russian officials, and they was like, "Oh, he has to recuse himself now." He didn't say that in the meeting during the grill session. Well, the FBI told him not to say anything about it. The DOJ told Jeff Sessions not to say anything about talking to the Russians. So
mm-hmm.
again, it was fake news, fake news, fake news.
Yep. Yeah. Well, of course, anything that comes from this media, you don't just take it with a grain of salt. You take it with the whole damn salt shaker
Yeah.
because exactly that is fake news.
Hmm.
And it would be ridiculous to actually believe anything about it
Hmm.
to be legitimate because it's certainly not legitimate. I can say that much.
Yeah.
I mean, the left is doing all they can right now to get this president out of office. That's what they want.
Hmm.
They no longer want him in office. They never liked him. Well, it's not just the left. I mean, it's
Yeah.
also the establishment Republicans, the deep
Hmm.
state, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are trying to
Because
really get him out.
they admit in the Huffington Post that Trump is winning, and they don't like that one bit.
And they think that he's got to go. He's for this country, no question about
Yeah. Trump is great for this country.
it.
They hate it because they don't want our country to be great.
Right. And who work with Trump is the most we've had since Ronald Reagan. I mean,
Hmm.
that's a pretty high compliment because, like I said, if he did anything about a conservative president, it would certainly be Mark.
Hmm.
So for him to compliment, I mean, for him to come up with a compliment like that is just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
Let's see here. Trying to think what else happened this week. A lot of stuff happened this week. So, I don't think we talked about tax reform that much. So, and net neutrality too. We got to talk about that. So, tax reform. What's going on with tax reform? I haven't been keeping that very close eye on it. From what I understand, it's a bound to pass. It's bound to pass.
That's that's what's being said right now is that it may pass, and that it probably will pass,
Mhm.
and that Trump is hoping to have it passed on Monday,
So they're going to vote on it
or
this weekend.
well, at least early next week. That's the whole
That's the whole. That's what they're trying to shoot for.
exactly what they're trying to shoot for. They're trying to shoot for early next week.
Mhm.
And they're hoping, the president is hoping he can have this done before Christmas. I mean, and because Christmas is a week from this Sunday, so
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's here. And then
so
what?
the
2 weeks,
president,
it's going to be a new year.
so the president wants to have he wants to have a W,
Hmm.
a win before the end of the year. He wants a big win,
Yeah.
and tax reform will be a big win for him.
And then John McCain, he's seriously ill again. I think he's in the hospital again.
Yeah, he is.
It's, karma. Karma's coming back. Karma's biting.
He probably won't be there to vote. Well, he'd probably vote no anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
And it's rumored that Jeff Flake will vote no on it, and also Lil Marco Rubio.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Because they're the little Marco's like a Jeb Bush wannabe. Is a Bush wannabe.
Yeah, their
Um,
establishment, so they would not president to succeed,
mhm.
obviously.
But speaking of tax reform, and this might tie into tax reform, there was a report going around last night that Paul Ryan is considered on resigning if tax reform gets
Who's this?
passed. Paul Rhino. Paul Rhino. So
To retire. He's actually retiring in 2018. Yeah.
yes. Now the report was that he was resigning, and then Paul Rhino came out and said that that's not happening. He's not resigning, but hopefully he's going to retire. He's going to leave.
Well,
I'm banking
yeah.
on it.
He's not resigning. He's just going to retire. He's not resigning. He's just retiring.
Yeah, yeah, retirement. Yeah, Paul Rhino considers retirement. So I'm like, I hope this is true. I hope this is true. I want him out of there. I want him. If we get Paul Rhino out, if we get Mitch McConnell out, punting someone that wants Trump to succeed, we'll get shit done.
Well, yeah, I have heard that it's true that yes, he is resigning, or he's not resigning, but retiring.
Mm-hmm. And they said that he's going to get a Wall Street
This
job.
this
You know, I don't care what.
this will be positive, I think.
Yeah, I don't care where he goes as long as he's not speaker anymore. But here's the question: who's next? When he retires, who's next in line to replace him? Is there going to be an election, or is this
Oh
just going to be like?
gosh, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know what the House rules are. The Speaker of the House retires, so not really sure what the. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
What is the protocol for choosing the new Speaker of the House or the new Majority Leader?
Mm-hmm.
Majority Leader, he's Speaker of the House. Has to be a majority. There is a Majority Leader, I'm sure, in the House. I don't know if I'm not sure if that's the same position as or not.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if there has to be a difference between a Speaker of the House and Majority Leader, because
So
that's what Nancy Pelosi's a Majority Leader, right?
she's actually a Minority Leader at this
Minority.
point
So
because the
who's
Democrats.
okay?
Majority Leader would have to be someone. Majority Leader would have to be someone who is like the House is largely Republican, so it would have to be a Republican as majority leader.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be a Democrat.
Yeah.
When Pelosi was Speaker of the House,
Okay, Speaker is Paul Rhino.
there.
Majority Leader
Uh-huh.
is Kevin McCarthy.
Yes,
Minority Leader,
that's right. McCarthy is the
yeah.
majority leader.
Minority Leader is Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Majority Whip was Steve Scalise, and
Uh-huh.
Minority Whip was Steinen Hoar.
Steny Hoyer.
Yeah.
He was.
So
He actually was. He actually was the majority leader under Pelosi. Steny Hoyer was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, I knew. I think I remembered that McCarthy was the majority leader. So yeah, there you go. He is the majority leader under Ryan.
So if Paul Ryan retires, I bet Kevin McCarthy gets his spot.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they vote on it, unless there's an election for it. But if there's no election, I think the second in line, which is Kevin McCarthy, gets his spot.
Right. Unless there's an right. Unless the House members decide to get together and they decide to vote
Mm-hmm.
who they think should be Speaker of the House, it would go to McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else we were going to bring up, but I can't remember what it was.
Was it about this or net neutrality?
That was it. Yes, they finally ended net neutrality, and actually, it's a good thing because
Yeah, it's a great thing. And I don't think people understand this. They believe the fake news. They said, oh, it's about internet service providers not allowing to, charge you for speeds and all that other nonsense. No, this is about censorship, all right? And basically what Facebook, well, actually, basically what net neutrality was so that the FCC can control the internet, all right? Do you really want the FCC,
yeah,
the government, to control the internet?
nope,
Absolutely not. So now that's going to fall onto the FTC instead of the FCC, the Federal Trade Commission, and that's why the
right,
big
yeah,
internet, that's why the big tech corporations, the tech monopolies, did not want. They didn't want the FTC to control the internet because then they'll break up the whole tech monopoly, which is Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that other nonsense. They're breaking
all those
up.
social media.
Absolutely. The FTC will break up those tech monopolies so they can bring in other, competitions to Facebook, competitions to YouTube, competitions to Google. That's why the big companies didn't want that. The big companies wanted power. They wanted to stay in control. Now, they're
Well,
not.
what it is, a lot of those regulations were passed under the Obama administration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of the regulations with net neutrality.
Yeah.
So it is a good thing that those regulations no longer apply.
Mm-hmm.
Because they that net neutrality had a stranglehold. Those Obama administration regulations had a stranglehold on it, and now that it's been eliminated, now it can. Now there's going to be a lot more. I think there's going to be a lot more. I guess freedom on the internet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And see, the best part is that Facebook and Twitter and YouTube won't be able to censor us now. They still might be able to, but without net neutrality, they won't be able to censor us because we saw the past couple of months they've been censoring conservative speakers on YouTube and Facebook and
They
Twitter.
have been.
That was
Yes,
because of the net neutrality rules. Because that was the whole thing for net neutrality, was because they was able to censor everybody, censor the news that you didn't want to see. Now
they've eliminated it. I think perhaps the rules may be more relaxed now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least I hope they will be.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, me too. But see, here's the thing: if Facebook starts censoring conservative speakers, then without the net neutrality and with the Federal Trade Commission breaking up these tech monopolies, a competition to Facebook can emerge and take on Facebook and take on Google and take on all these other social media platforms that absolutely is horrendous. I cannot
Well,
stand it.
there is a competing social media platform to Twitter. It's called Gab,
Yeah,
and I joined up with Gab this week. And they let you say whatever you want. It's completely
yeah,
free speech.
yeah. And this
You
net
can use
neutrality
all
is going
the
to help Gab.
you
This
can
net,
use all the foul language you want. You can use racial slurs. You can do anything you want on Gab.
yeah, yeah.
They don't censor.
Hmm. And this whole ending net neutrality is going to help Gab in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I believe so too.
But I,
But you have complete freedom of speech on Gab. You really do.
yeah. Hmm. But you know, people's going to say, "Oh, this is going to be the end of the internet. This is going to be ruin the internet." Well,
I don't think so.
well,
I don't think so.
well, we're still here. We're still broadcasting. And funny. We haven't had any technical difficulties tonight. I wonder if that net neutrality was the issue.
I have been able to understand just about everything you've said.
No,
Yes.
I mean,
So
when we was broadcasting this past year, we was under the net neutrality rules, and technical difficulties kept popping up every so often. I jumped out, you jumped out, we couldn't understand you, you couldn't understand me. Tonight, no technical difficulties. So
I know. Isn't that interesting?
yeah,
Yeah. The day after they eliminate net neutrality, all of a sudden, hey.
coincidence? I think not. But here and then people's like, oh, Facebook's going to start paying and Twitter start. Okay, before net
Yeah,
neutrality,
I noticed you put up that fake news on your Facebook about that, about
love that. Yeah, Facebook Premium, pay $100 a
yeah,
month.
the Facebook Premium. Yeah, yeah, I noticed you put that up
Oh man,
on your page.
but Facebook was free even before net neutrality started.
Yeah,
So I mean, everything's going to be fine. The internet's not going to die. Although it might be the best for us if the internet died. It might be for the best, but the internet's not going to be that dead. Facebook's not going to be a goner. Twitter's still going to be there. It's all
yeah,
going to be free. Now, if they start paying, then that's when you're going to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to use your service anymore. Then go on to the next thing. Go on to the next Facebook, the new Twitter, which is going to be Gab. I say probably this
yeah,
same time next year, Gab is going to take over of Twitter.
yeah.
That's my
I
prediction.
think it will. I think it will.
Yep.
Because there, like I said, it's complete freedom of speech on Gab.
Yep.
You don't get censored on Gab at all.
Hmm. I want to bring up a thing that I saw from Facebook, and I posted a link about linking to InfoWars, and Facebook sent me
Hmm.
a pop up that said, this was on the politically alternative media page too, and Facebook sent me a link, sent me a pop up, a notification that said about the InfoWar link that I posted. There is additional reporting from PolitiFact, an independent fact checker. Yeah, PolitiFact, an independent fact checker, my ass. About a link, about a link from politically alternative media, a page that you manage, that is repeatedly posting that post is misleading or false content. Yeah, I got that from Facebook.
Yeah,
Let's see if you can take a look at it. It's too. Oh, it's kind of blurry.
yeah. It's just a little
A little
bright. I
blurry.
mean, I
But
get the gist of what you're
yeah.
saying. They sent you a notice
They sent me a notice that
of
says
that.
the InfoWars link that you've posted it contains misleading or false information, and that you have to
Oh
use
Lord.
that you have to use PolitiFact, an independent fact checker. Yeah, right. To promote what's actually going on.
Yeah.
and that was like a day or two before the net neutrality rules ended. So maybe this net neutrality would kill that notification again.
Yep. Yep. Because if that was sent,
Yeah,
before the whole net neutrality thing was eliminated, then
yeah, it was sent before that.
well, then there's
It
going to
was actually
be
sent.
it's going to.
I posted it Tuesday night. Tuesday night, and net neutrality ended. I think Thursday or Wednesday.
Mhm.
So I hope.
It was yesterday.
Oh yeah, it
It
was.
was
Yeah,
yesterday.
yes,
That's when they voted on it.
yes. Yesterday was
Yeah.
Thursday. So
Yeah.
net neutrality. So
Yeah. It was yesterday.
hopefully I'll post some more Infowars articles and see if that PolitiFact independent checker pops up, notification pops up again. Let's see here. All right. We'll do the year in review very last. We talked about Russiangate. We talked about net neutrality, worry more. Donald Trump, I think yesterday, he did a press conference about cutting regulation, and he did he did it, big and huge. He had some regulation papers from the 1960s, and then he had a crap ton of regulation papers that's today, and it was like a red tape, and he's like, I'm going to cut he literally cut the red tape. I mean, a great visual from Trump. um,
Huge. It's going to be
I think
huge.
that's pretty much it was huge. It was huge, so huge.
I love the way he says that. I love the way the inflection in his voice and kind of the that is.
Yeah. Hmm.
I love the way he says that. Huge.
Yeah. Speaking of something huge, he had a rally last Friday, and we didn't cover it because he was doing the show. But I
Yeah.
watched it, and holy hell, it was so funny. He was great. I loved it. He mimicked the protesters. Did you see this?
I don't think I
Did you see
saw
him?
that.
Oh, you got to watch it.
No,
He
I.
was like, you have these people that's resisting me, and
Uh,
he was like, resist, resist. He's like, what are they resisting? What are they resisting? And he's like, Hillary resisted, and she lost. Yeah,
oh
yeah. He
man.
was like mimicking the protesters, and he went around in a circle. It was so freaking hilarious.
Oh my
He is
goodness.
so damn hilarious. Oh man, he is so damn hilarious. I mean, he should do stand up.
He
I would love him to
should.
do stand up.
Yeah. He's great. I like when uh, there was. Oh, did you see the ridiculous CNN report about President Trump? Drinking a dozen Diet
Oh
Cokes a day.
yes, yes. He drinks like 12 Diet Cokes a day and watches 4 to 8 hours of TV. Oh my god, I don't. Yeah, okay.
I
First
bet.
off,
I bet
President
he
Trump.
mostly does it on like Fox News, fake
Yeah,
news,
I would.
CNN.
Well, they said that he wakes up, drink a Diet Coke, turns it on CNN, and he gets like pissed off, and that makes him like amped up for the day. Which I found that if that report is true, I found that freaking hilarious because it's so damn funny. I mean, having Trump wake up, drink a Diet Coke, watching CNN, have him watch and him report on every single lie about him, fires him up and rallies him up, pisses him off so much so he can accomplish the day. I think that's just great. But okay, first off, I don't believe he drinks 12 Diet Cokes a day. If he did, he would not be living. But let's just say if he does, President Trump, don't drink Diet Coke anymore. It's horrible than regular Coke. We need you to live for 7 more years.
Yep.
So cut back on the Diet Coke. Cut out Diet Coke completely, and drink water. Drink
Oh
some
yeah,
water.
they were trying to say, well, he needs to drink more water. He does not need to drink so much Diet Coke.
I'm surprised they don't call him a beast. He's overweight.
Hmm.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure that's their next thing. They got a big will of, what should we call Trump? Well, let's spin it. Well, he's got dementia. He's overweight. He drinks 12 Diet Cokes. I mean, geez. It's like, man, I cannot
Yeah,
wait to 2018 is just going to be so epic.
I
It's going to
think
be
so.
epically good, epically horrible, or epically in between. Um, so season 2 of The President, Donald Trump, has been renewed. Let's see if we can get him renewed for 6 more seasons. So yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, this year has been one huge reality show. One,
And
I mean, it's been a mixed bag. It's been horrible at some times. It's been hilarious at other times. It's been winning on some parts. Let's see here. Let me see. I think we've covered the major parts of what happened this past week. So let's go ahead and go
I
into the
think so.
year and review the year 2017. And
Yeah.
the
And
first,
it all started with President Trump, then President-elect Trump,
yeah,
getting into an argument with Jim Acosta and calling him fake news.
that was a great way to kick off the year. That was a great way. He's like, "No, I am not going to answer your
Yeah.
question. You are fake news." Oh man, that was great. I love that. That was so much. Oh man,
That
so
was great when he did
2017.
that.
2017 had its ups and downs and its in betweens.
Deserved it.
This was the
Acosta
first.
deserved it.
Yeah, he did. Acosta did deserve it. They, you know
Mhm.
what, you know what Huckabee, Sarah Sanders should have done? She should have had like a button that had Trump's voice on it, and just press it that said, "You are fake news." Just keep pressing it.
That would be great. I would love that. I would
Just
love that.
that would have been, yeah. Just have a button. Just press it. Say, Jim, I'm not going to take your question, and just press it, or show like because they have the two monitors in between her. So show that segment again of Trump calling him fake news, and be like, Jim, this is why I'm not going to take your question. And just show that segment, Trump, you're fake news. I mean, oh man. So yeah,
All
see,
the left and the fake news media would be triggered by that.
no, but could you imagine the backlash that CNN would give the press secretary if they revoked their press credentials?
Oh God, yeah. They would hate that.
They're going to be like, well, this is against the First Amendment, freedom of the press. And they're going to be up there crying and everything. Oh, they took away my press credentials. Now I can't do fake news. Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
But season 1,
I would laugh. I'd laugh my
I would
ass
laugh.
off if that
I
happened.
would too. I'd be like, that you deserve it. All right. They just need to start doing that next year, If the press reports something that's misleading or intentionally misleading, revoke their press credentials. Say, hey, you know what? You guys reported fake news about us. You guys don't deserve to be in here. We're going to revoke them. That's what they need to do. And then they need to bring in
Yeah.
independent journalists. They need to bring in the alternative media journalists. As soon as they revoke um, one press credential, bring in like a Breitbart, bring in like a Daily Caller, bring in an InfoWar, bring in Mike Cernovich, have him. Because that would rile up the media. If they slowly take away press credentials from the
Yeah.
mainstream media and give them to the alternative media sites, that would just kill the mainstream media. That it'll just
Well,
kill them on the
they
foot.
did do something like that. They did do something like that earlier this year when they had Sean Spicer had some of these alternative
Yeah.
media sources in his office,
Hmm. But I think they need
which
to.
was not in the main press of the
Yeah.
White House. It was different part. It was in another building.
Hmm.
So And cameras weren't allowed in there either.
Yeah, I saw that. And the CNN had a sketch artist to sketch out what happened.
Yeah.
But see, yeah, I mean, they need to double down on getting rid of press credentials and bringing in alternative media sites. Double down on it.
Yep, they do.
But let's see here. So, this year with it had its ups and downs, and some of the downs. I mean, they had numerous terrorist attacks this year. Unfortunately, a couple of mass shootings.
Yeah.
The hurricanes that came by, the like 6 and 7 different hurricanes that came by, and
Yep.
I mean, you know, this year's been one wild ride. It's been a roller coaster, and looking
Yes.
back, I mean, I think it was. It was, and looking back, I think we made some huge progress this year. I think even though it might be a slow moving progress or little progress, but I think we made some progress this year and going into the
I
next
think
year,
so.
and hopefully next year it'll progress will keep happening. And man, this what do you think, Henry? What do you want to talk about? What happened this year?
Well, I mean, I think you pretty well covered it. I mean, of course, we had, I mean, we had the snowflakes acting like snowflakes at his
Yeah,
inauguration.
yeah.
Especially that one. I don't know if it was a woman or a man. I don't know if it's gender. The
It's a
green, the one with the green jacket and wearing glasses. Going,
the
well, after when President Trump was announced as the president, no.
doing the Darth Vader.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
And then not only that,
That was just.
you had the women's march, the nasty women's march, which was a uh, a uh, a political
Yeah.
stunt.
It was, and then also during the day of the inauguration, Richard Spencer gets punched in the side of the head. Someone
Yeah.
who just basically ambushed him.
Hmm.
Talking, all of a sudden, pow! Right at the side of the head. Some masked thug.
It was a Nazi Antifa member.
Yeah. Now we saw the rise of Antifa.
Yeah.
I mean, they decided to make asses of themselves. They made asses of themselves in Berkeley.
Hmm. Yep.
This one young lady got punched in the forehead
Hmm.
on the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
There was nothing there.
Hmm.
She got punched in the forehead. She didn't get punched in the nose.
Oh, trust me, if you got punched in the nose, you know you're going to get punched in the nose.
Uh-huh.
It's no fun at all. I've never been punched in the nose, but
Her nose would have been swollen in that area if she didn't punch there.
yeah.
It would have been.
Hmm.
But that's not what happened to her.
Hmm.
So let's see. But we saw, like I said, we saw the rise of Antifa. We saw more social justice warriors, virtue signaling about certain issues. We didn't really see Black Lives Matter all that much, really
Well,
do that much damage this year.
no, because I think what happened was they combined Antifa and Black Lives Matter together to make the whole riots. That's what I think that's what
Yeah, yeah,
the deep state George Soros people did, was combine the two and just made Antifa.
yeah, yeah. And don't forget, we had those morons tearing shit up
Hmm.
the weekend of Trump's inauguration. Women's March in Washington the day after the inauguration with
Hmm.
Madonna threatening to blow up the White House. And Ashley Judd talking about being a nasty woman.
Talk about her period too.
Like, yeah, you'll get no argument from me when you say you're a nasty woman.
Yeah. I love how they try to use, deplorable the Trump supporters took deplorable and ran with it. I love how
They
the Hillary
did.
supporters took nasty woman and tried to run with it. But it's not you can't do that because nasty woman is just even worse than the deplorable. You know, I'd rather be a
It
deplorable.
work out for them as far as
Yeah,
trying to take nasty woman.
yeah. It didn't.
They,
They don't know how to
yeah,
do it.
they tried desperately to co-opt that with their movement, and it just didn't. It
It
was
fell
not very
flat.
positive. Yeah, yes, it did. It just
It
wasn't
fell
very
flat.
positive for them. No, it was. It did.
Oh my god. Hmm. And we also saw the downfall of Hollywood. Downfall of Hollywood, I guess you can
Yep.
call it. And the downfall.
Was Ashley Judd was part of some of that.
Hmm.
You know, she made accusations against Harvey Weinstein, and you know, we've seen some of the we've seen politicians, and we've seen you know, Hollywood producers, actors, things like that.
Hmm.
They lose their careers.
Yeah.
A spin career. Let's not forget about Kathy Griffin and her
Oh,
ill-timed stunt
oh yeah.
back in late May.
A little stunt that cost her career.
You know,
It's
and then
wrong, man.
she goes on, she leaves the country, goes on a world tour in November, saying that she's not going to have any more gigs. That she's, you know, and she does not want to go back to working in nightclubs because she worked too hard to go back to that crap. It's
Oh
like,
my
hey, Kathy,
goodness.
I hear Walmart is hiring.
She could be a Walmart greeter. Hey, welcome to
Oh
Walmart.
yeah,
You know, get your buggy. Get the buggy.
oh yeah,
Help her get the, hand people the buggy. But
yep.
there
And she's
was,
57 years old, so she
ooh,
could be right in that age range, you know, where
yeah. Yeah, because all the Walmart greeters, that old.
uh-huh,
Hey, welcome to Walmart.
yeah, uh-huh.
And we also saw the downfall of the NFL, which is an epic.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
too,
the
yeah.
NFL is collapsing with the whole Neil Gate, I guess you can call it.
Yep,
The whole,
yep. They take a knee. Oh,
yep,
yeah, that take a knee bullshit.
take a knee,
All these players
take a knee gate.
thinking that, well, I mean, no, they do have the right to do it.
Yeah.
They have the right to do it, but they do not have the right to not suffer consequences for it.
Absolutely, and the NFL is suffering consequences out the wazoo because of that. I mean, their attendance for the games are down, the ratings are down. Hopefully
Yep.
now February. I think February is Super Bowl, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how the ratings
I believe it's the
compare.
first. Yeah, I believe it's the first weekend of February,
Oh, let's see here.
which would be, let's see, it'd be like, I think February 4th, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, you are correct. February 4th is
Yep,
Super
February
Bowl.
4th.
Super Bowl 52.
I mean,
It's
that's
going
going
to
to be a
be.
week before Walking Dead. That's going to be a week before Walking Dead comes back. I
Mhm.
believe it'll be February 11th.
Yeah. It's going to be quite interesting to see how the ratings compare to this Super Bowl from last year's Super Bowl, and it's going to be interesting to see if any of the players is going to get
Yeah.
political, and if the halftime show is going to get political.
That one player for the Pittsburgh Steelers who he showed his true American pride, and he got um,
Reprimanded
eviscerated by his
for.
coach for doing it.
Yeah, I mean, he was the only one that stood out there, and they reprimanded him for that. They said, "You better apologize, or you're going to get fired." And You saw, we saw the video, and it looked like a damn hostage video. It sounds like he was pre-scripted, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh well, I just wanted to say I apologize." I mean, it was like he was like being forced to say that, with a gun to his head.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And
If I
it's
was him, I would
unfortunate that
I would have just quit. If I was him, I think he should have been man enough to quit instead of I get
yeah.
selling out. I guess you can call it of doing the statement. I don't think he
You
should have made that
know,
statement.
I'm not too mad at him because I mean he may have figured that if he'd been fired by the Steelers, he might not have been able to get a job with another team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, let's see. Of course, we also had all the manufactured scandals about the Trump administration and people being indicted and people being arrested and
Mhm.
things of that nature. People
The
who,
whole.
by the way, may they were the I don't want to call them underlings, but they were kind of the underneath people
Hmm.
to President Trump.
Yeah, the lower people on the totem pole.
Here, the lower tier people.
Hmm.
In other words, even when they were indicted or arrested or whatever, it did not get back to anything as far as Trump being arrested. And that goes with the fake news. So of course we talked about Joy Behar embarrassing herself on The View a couple of weeks
Hmm.
ago, prematurely celebrating at that.
Hmm. And then the Russiangate scandal of Hillary Clinton
Oh, that
selling our
well
uranium to
that
Russia.
that ties in. That
That
ties in with all
yeah.
these.
I mean,
Um,
if Hillary would have won, we would never hear about any of this.
right. Of course, that was all fake news. That whole thing,
Hmm.
bullshit.
Yep.
And we saw the mainstream media or the fake news media just get more unhinged than ever, especially CNN.
Hmm.
I mean, they have completely dropped all pretense of being a news network.
Hmm.
Now they're just full on propaganda for the left. That's what they are.
Yep.
And they're not even bothering to hide it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, back 8 years ago, even back during when uh, longer than that. Ever since the mainstream media has been around, they've been, biased and political since from the beginning. And it just took until now for everybody to realize of how, biased and they are and how fake they are.
Well, but I think now that ever since Trump's become president, they've really become unhinged.
Yeah. And they don't care. They don't care. Just like the deep state, I mean, or the establishment, they're out in the open now.
They are. And it's just and of course well, we mentioned about the sex scandals. I mean, all the sexual allegations, which has caused one congressman to retire,
Hmm.
and perhaps one senator to resign, although he still has yet to resign.
Yeah.
Al Franken.
I think, you know
Now,
why I think he hasn't resigned yet? Is it tax reform? Because he's voting on
yeah,
tax
that
reform.
that too. Yep, that too.
Because if he were to resign, he wouldn't be voted. He won't be able to. He wouldn't have voted against on tax reform.
I will not believe that Al Franken has resigned until I see him walk out the door. But from what I understand, the one that he's going to be replaced with is going to be just as bad and maybe worse.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Really, it's irrelevant whether Al Franken resigns or not because there'll be somebody just as bad or perhaps worse that's going to be in his place because the Minnesota governor is a Democrat in his place.
Hmm.
So to quote Hillary Clinton, what difference at this point does it make
Yeah,
as far as Al
absolutely.
Franken?
Let's see here, man. This year, I think we covered the main points that happened this year. There's some points that was a little bit lower on the totem pole, but not
Yeah.
as major. Before we get to local news, there's an article from Red State that George
Yep.
Soros is eyeing Ted Cruz's seat, but he's picked the worst candidate to run against Ted. The Soros candidate is Beto O'Rourke. O'Rourke, like Mickey Rourke, I guess. He's a former punk rocker and Generation X age Democrat politician from El Paso. The Soros group MoveOn.org announced last night via email that Beto is their officially endorsed candidate to take down Ted Cruz next year. Beto is George Soros' rising star. George Soros is hell bent on turning Texas blue, like he turned Alabama blue. Then we
Wouldn't be
definitely,
shocking.
yeah. But going forward in 2018, um, it's primaries, or I guess not primaries, but midterm elections.
Midterm
The ma-
elections, yeah.
the major things we have to look out for is election rigging by the George Soros groups, and that's what I feel strongly believe in my gut that that's what happened in Alabama. And on top of that, I kind of do see low voter turnout as well. But this is why they need to, you know, hopefully we
Yeah.
can win in 2018. That's
Yeah, I
that's what
mean,
I'm hoping.
well, I mean, I'm hoping that early this upcoming week there's a W for the president
Yeah,
as far as on the tax reform. I mean, I think he desperately needs it after. I mean, yeah, listen, he's done some good things this year. He has done some great things in 2017.
yeah.
No
Let's
question
see.
about it.
He pulled us out of TPP. He pulled us out of the Paris Climate Agreement.
Yep.
Net neutrality is dead. The
Yep.
coal mining. Let me see here. There was an article about coal mining, and it's back after a year that says coal mining is dead. Um, and then we got like healthcare, and then tax reform. But those are Congress's fault, especially with healthcare. They screwed John McCain and all the establishment guys screwed us on healthcare.
And also remember the travel ban
Yeah,
was
the travel
blocked by
ban.
so many of these federal judges, but now implemented
Yeah, it finally got
because
implemented like last week.
Supreme Court ruled that they gave Trump what he wanted on that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a major victory.
Yep, and then we got the wall is being built. Basically, prototypes of the wall. That was the huge thing. There's going to be a wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. So that's been.
That's a pretty good impersonation.
I know, right? It's going to be
Yeah.
a huge wall. Mexico's going to pay for it, and
You're even doing the
yeah,
this. You're even
yeah.
doing like he
And
does like
I'm going to
that.
call Mexico. It's going to be 10 feet higher. You know. Oh, Alec Baldwin is going to take his Trump impersonation on the road. A one-man
Oh
show
God.
in Broadway. Yeah, that's going to work out great. It's going to work. Maybe
Remember the left tried to claim that this symbol was racist. There was some kind of
the
code for
white power
racism.
symbol. The white power
Oh
symbol.
yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Let's flash that up. Here we go, Henry. Oh my gosh. And then don't forget Pepe the Frog.
Yeah, that was a very popular meme this year. Yes.
The racist Pepe the Frog, apparently, because
Like,
frogs are racist now for some reason.
I mean, how long have we been using the OK sign? We've been using it for
Ages.
years.
Ages.
To be racist. I mean, okay.
Coal industry hums along 1 year after it was declared dead. And if Hillary would have gotten it, I'm going to put a lot of coal miners and coal companies out of business.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it, Hillary.
What
It's
I
like
loved, what I loved
I
was the
can't.
clip of the older clip of Hillary and Bill Clinton from around '92, before Bill ran. While Bill was running for president,
Mm-hmm.
they're on 60 Minutes and they're being interviewed. All of a sudden, a light falls and dang near hits both of them.
Oh, we forgot to mention. I think did we mention? I don't know if we mentioned this last week. Oh, well, if we did, we did. If not, it's good. There's a Hillary Clinton tree topper, and she's an angel. It's an angel tree topper of Hillary Clinton.
Oh yes, I heard about that.
I'm
Yes.
like, that's
Oh
kind of the
God.
wrong symbol. She needs devil horns and not an angel wing. She's got angel wings,
Oh,
and she's standing up there. Oh, I'm an angel. No, she's not. No, she's not. You're not an angel, Hillary. I mean.
because she is
I mean,
anything but. She is the
this
opposite. She is. She is.
right here. Does that look like an angel to you? That's not an angel to me. The Clintons' War on Women, recommend it by Roger Stone and Robert Morrow. Great read, great read. I recommend it. And then Mark Dice's book, No More Fake News.
The true story of fake news. Yes,
True story of
Billy.
fake news.
You haven't gotten your copy. If you're getting a copy for a family member or a friend, you can probably still get it for Christmas.
Great stocking
Probably
stuffer.
still get it for Christmas. Yeah,
Great stocking stuffer.
yeah, it is. It's a great book too. Because he doesn't just talk about the news you see on television. He also talks about the social media
Yep.
platforms that have been censoring people: Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Which that may stop after net neutrality has been eliminated.
Yeah, which is man, some exciting stuff. So I think that's pretty much it that happened this year. Next year it's going to be another one, and the best thing is that we have done a show every single Friday this year. Maybe almost every single Friday. I think maybe it was just like 1 or 2
Well,
Fridays we
we
didn't do a
took the
show.
week off. We took the week off for Thanksgiving, if you remember.
Yeah, Thanksgiving, and I think up until then we did a show every single Friday.
Yeah,
We did
we
a
did. I wasn't here for every single show, but we did. But I know
that,
there was a
but
show every
that
Friday.
we still did a show every single Friday, and man.
Mm-hmm.
We started back in January of this year, and I think the first show we'd
Yep.
done was talking about Trump's inauguration, and we kicked it off.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the end of the year, and
Yep.
man, this is great. I mean, I'm going to give myself a round of applause. I think 2017 is in the history books. This is going to be the last show of the
Yep.
year. We have to take next week off because that's Christmas week. It's the week before Christmas. And then the week after that is the week of the last week of December, and we'll be back on January 5th.
Yep.
January 5th at
Yep.
same
But
time.
you can't wait. You can't wait that long to see us. Tomorrow night is the
Yep.
mid-season finale. Again, where we talk about the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, how it's
Yep.
got to be.
Yep. And
And let's
big.
see, is the return of the X-Files, and we will
Yep.
be bringing back the X-Cast on Saturday, January 6th,
Yep. Absolutely.
2018.
Man. So yeah, holy cow. 2018 is going to be a wild year. But before we end this, we got to get to local news. Henry, you got some local news for us?
I do, in fact. As a matter of fact, I do. This is about what's going on in the state of Mississippi this weekend. Christmas lights, Living History Polar Express. Because it is the Christmas season. A lot of stuff is related to that around the Magnolia State. In North Mississippi, get the kids in the car and head over to the 19th annual Southern Lights in South Haven to drive through the 116-acre park with $500,000 twinkling lights. You can tune to 5 FM radio stations playing Christmas music as you ride through the park. And don't miss the Christmas Tree Farm synchronized to music by Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Hmm.
In central Mississippi, come join Vicksburg National Military Park's living historians at the USS Cairo on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. as they talk about life on the USS Cairo as part of the Federal Navy. Chance to walk the deck of the USS Cairo with historians portraying the role of its crew. There will be nighttime demonstrations of sailors explaining the daily tasks, hardships in the Brown Water Navy. Now, for those who don't know what that is an ironclad that they brought up from the Mississippi River. It was a boat. It was a type of almost like a warship. They had cannons on this boat. It was made out of iron. Some of it was made out of iron. So they call those ironclads, and they have that at the Vicksburg National Military Park. So that's very cool. I've actually seen it. I've actually seen that ironclad. It's cool. And then that was, of course, during the Civil War. So the Battle of Vicksburg. In South Mississippi, head over to the Hattiesburg Zoo, where their train has been magically transformed into the Polar Express, where you can take a round-trip journey to the North Pole. Visitors will be able to write their names on Santa's nice list and enjoy holiday music along with a keepsake ticket. Very cool. I think that's a pretty cool thing to happen for, in Mississippi. So yeah, some cool stuff going on in our state this weekend, leading up to the Christmas season. Well, it is the Christmas season, but leading into Christmas.
Leading into Christmas. Yeah, we do Hollywood, not Hollywood lights, but Holiday of Lights or Christmas lights in Bluefield Park, and it's not big and major like some of the cities, but it's pretty amazing.
And we haven't. One of these nights we're going to go up here to Cleveland, drive through where they have the lights downtown, and I'm going to do a Facebook Live with that. So that's some absolutely gorgeous lights. Some of them are colored; they have different colors to them and things like that. Oh my goodness! My mom and I went up to town a few nights ago. We passed through that area, and oh my gosh, we saw the whole beautiful.
Oh yeah, I love going out at night and looking at the Christmas lights.
There's several folks up to drive who have decorated the outside of their homes. Just some really elaborate setups they got.
Yeah, I would love to do that, but I don't have the time or patience to do that because you got to put a lot of effort into it. The only thing I do, I just staple lights to a porch and that's it. I just Chevy Chase it from National Lampoons.
Yeah, baby, you don't want to be Chevy Chase. You don't want to be Clark Griswold from Christmas
Exactly. That was just on a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's been on a few times already this year.
Vacation.
Yeah.
All right. We got some news coming in through the wire. Roy Moore sends out letter for additional fundraising. Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore lost the special election in Alabama Tuesday by a narrow margin, receiving 48%, and Democrat Doug Jones receiving 50%. They just rounded up the numbers. However, Moore has refused to concede the election, stating he is waiting for the Alabama Secretary of State to certify the votes, which is expected to happen between December 26th and January 3rd. All precincts in the state have reported their votes to the state. Friday, The Hill reported that Moore has sent out a letter asking supporters to help raise another $75,000 for an election integrity fund. Moore said that in the emails that military and provisional ballots haven't been counted by the Secretary of State's office, and he is hoping these votes will be enough to give him the victory. The letter Moore sent to supporters reportedly stated that the campaign budget ran through on election night and asked supporters to help him raise another $75,000 to collect reports of voter fraud and other irregularities at the polling locations throughout the state. President Trump said Friday that Moore needs to go ahead and concede the race. But Moore is sticking in there, and like I said, I hope Moore stays in there and proves there's voter fraud happening. I think that would turn the country upside down if Roy Moore proves there's voter fraud happening.
But I don't know if that's going to be possible. I just, I would love to see it. I would see if he is able to, if he is able to prove it. I mean, I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's all we have to do is wait and see, because they said so basically the day after Christmas and January 3rd. So basically in a couple of weeks we'll probably find out an exact number and see if Roy Moore concedes or not. And even though there won't be any shows the next 2 Fridays, if there's any breaking news with Roy Moore and all this, I'll definitely do a YouTube live or a Facebook live on the page and report on it.
Okay.
So my local news is more of a about the roads in West Virginia. And it's winter, snow, ice. Got to be careful out of that. And they apparently West Virginia is going to how to request a safety upgrade on southern West Virginia roads. Snow and ice can create major traffic hazards, and sometimes the only thing that keeps an accident from turning deadly is a guardrail. Places like Slab Fork Road in Raleigh County lack guardrails, and some people living there say is in desperate need of them. But what does it take to get one installed on the road? On Thursday, 59 News spoke with the West Virginia Division of Highways District 10 maintenance engineer Joe Pack to find out. And he goes on to say the easiest way in today's society is just go to our website, transportation.westvirginia.gov or .wv.gov. There are links that will lead you directly to our district, which is District 10, which covers Raleigh, Bromley, McDowell, and Mercer counties. It'll register an email that goes straight to our Citizens Request Office. And we have investigators that go and look at anything that is sent to us, Pack said. He added, there are many criteria for installing a guardrail. Even though it may seem like a good idea, installing a guardrail can do more harm than good. And that's basically that. That's pretty much it. So basically, they said if you're kind of on the fritz about not having a guardrail, you can just go to that website and send in a request, and they'll take a look at it and see if the guardrail is needed or not. But yeah, during times like this, I mean, that snow and ice mixes together, black ice. That's really deadly and hazardous.
Yep, it really is. You got to be very careful out in those roads for sure. Especially with black ice. Because black ice, a lot of people think that if they're going over the roads, and that stuff will blend in, obviously, with the road.
Yeah, it will. But luckily, it's been a mild winter so far.
We're supposed to get temperatures in the upper 60s next week.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to get 50s this weekend. And it's gonna feel like summertime, because this past week we had freaking 30s and 40s weather, maybe even the 20s. It was so freaking cold and snowy this past week, and it's gonna feel like summertime. So get your surfboards out and get your pool toys out, because you can go swimming this weekend. 50 freaking degrees. Wow. But I think that's pretty much it tonight. That's going to do it for this year. We'll be back next year, January 5th, 2018, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with season 2 of Not Mainstream. Season 2 of Not Mainstream when 2018. And then January 6th is going to be the Xcast. We're going to be talking the new episodes of The X-Files that's going to premiere and return in January, on January 3rd. But tomorrow night is The Webcasting Dead, the mid-season finale of The Webcasting Dead. We're going to talk about the mid-season finale of how it's got to be. And it was if you guys didn't watch it or saw the spoilers, it probably wasn't a shock for you. But if you did watch it and didn't see the spoilers, and well, you was surprised. I was surprised too of what happened. But you got to find out what happens tomorrow night on my other channel. But we will return with the Webcasting Dead back in March. In March, because February 25th is when the premiere of the wait a minute. What was it? February 25th, I think, is the mid-season premiere of the Walking Dead. Let me see here. Let me make sure.
Sorry about that. I crashed.
Oh, that's all right. Is the Walking Dead coming back on the 25th of February?
No, it'd be sooner than that. It'd be the 11th.
Oh, the 11th. I could have sworn they said the 25th.
Who said the 25th?
I don't know where I got the 25th at. I don't know why I got the 25th. I could have sworn I saw something that said. Let me see.
It's usually the second Sunday in February, so it should be on the 11th.
All right, let's see here. February 12th.
It'll be a Monday.
That's what AMC says.
Yeah.
AMC says Sunday, February 12th.
But there is no February 12th because.
I bet they meant
Monday.
the 11th. I bet they meant the 11th.
Yeah, it'll be that Monday. That Sunday, rather. It'll be Sunday the 11th.
It's Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And, man. So, yeah, we'll be back with the Webcasting Dead on March 3rd, 2018. March 3rd. Wow. Man, that's a long time.
3rd. No, it won't be March 3rd because.
Oh, no, not March 3rd. I don't know where I'm getting these dates from. I was looking at. I was still saying the 25th. I was still thinking the 25th, and that's why I said March 3rd. But February 17th, we'll be back with the Webcasting Dead.
Yeah.
There we go. That's why you're here with me, Henry. To keep me. To be honest, I might have dementia. I might need to be impeached. All right. Let's go ahead and end this. We'll see you here next year, January 5th, 2018. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. God bless America. God bless President Trump. Good night, everybody.